We are recording Sisterhood team call August 12th. I know people are going to be rolling on here, but I want to respect your time, respect Jamie's time. We are so excited to have you guys all here. Week 2 of Team Cup. Tomorrow, we should get another update on where we stand. If you didn't see, we posted in the group today a vote for the hoodies. The top 2 teams are going to get a hoodie. So we're making some special Team Cup ones, so go vote there. I am wearing my Shakeology Snuggie. I feel like this is the new team call gear, a fish. If anybody has any recognition, let's start it off with that.
I just really quickly want to welcome the newest coach to Fire and Freedom, Melissa. I know she is on this call and super excited. Melissa, you have felt what these programs can do. You are the real deal. You talk with your heart, and I'm so happy to have you.
I have one. It's a little bit premature. It's going to be official next week, but my new coach, Chris, literally started coaching a week ago and is going Emerald. Signed up her spouse, signed up her sister. Boom. Starting a community. Amazing.
I'll go. First of all, I'd like to shout out Amber, who is already at SC 18 and doing wonders for our Team Cup. Thank you very much. You're a rock star. But my big shout out, and my heart is racing, is for Michelle, who will officially be Diamond tomorrow. I am so friggin' pumped for you. I cannot believe it. This team is going places, and I'm so stoked. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I have one on behalf of Jaden. She can't make it today, but she wanted me to give a huge shout out to her girl, Alyssa Hubbard. She's already locked in SC this month. She's 1 month away from being a success starter. She hit Emerald a couple weeks ago, and she's just off to a great start with her business. So way to go, Liz.
I'd like to do a little bit. I just want to shout out one of my new coaches, Kat Mood. She literally just started coaching and she's already at SC10. She's absolutely crushing it. She started a free community and you guys didn't even know she was getting paid, which was a lot of my maybe fault at the end of this, but she got to SC10 thinking that she was doing it from the goodness of her own heart because she absolutely loves these products and programs so much. And so congrats, Kat. You're getting a nice little paycheck tomorrow too, which I'm so excited about. And tomorrow it's going to be official that Brianne Stoner has locked in her diamond. And so I just wanted to shout her out again and say congrats.
I can go. Is that okay? I just want to give a shout out to Jennifer Arbor, who has been doing this for almost a year and just went Emerald yesterday because she just made a decision, or not yesterday, last week, because she just made a decision to kill this, and she's working her butt off, and she's going really hard. I don't think she can see us because she's in the back of her kitchen, but I just wanted to shout her out. She's doing awesome.
I just wanted to go quickly. I have yet to shout out Erin Gerard. I am so proud of you, Erin. You hit the ground running and you did an amazing job. You have a community of women and you are already Emerald. So congrats, Erin. I'm so happy to be doing this business alongside you.
I'd like to go if I can. I have a massive shout out to one of my longtime besties, Jackie, who's been doing this business with us for like 2 years, but really only decided to do it since March. And since March, she's been so dedicated and has persevered through so much in her personal life and has just decided, like, I'm going for this business. She's officially 1-star as of tomorrow and will be going into 2-star quals tomorrow. And I'm just like so blown away by your dedication to this commitment to this business and your commitment to it. And you're just like, I'm so honored to do this with a close friend. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. And I like know in my heart that this is truly just the beginning for you. And it's just so beautiful and exciting. So to me, honestly, 2-star is when it really starts happening, when you will notice such a like massive momentum in your business. And it's like a huge beginning for you. So proud of you.
Yeah, and I don't know, you know, for those of you that have been around a little bit, you know Jackie's story. Jackie treated this like a hobby for 2 years and sometimes hit Success Club, sometimes didn't, and decided a couple months ago that she wanted to do this business and that she wanted to like seek financial freedom and time freedom for her family. So like I'm bawling because watching you come into this and just like knock it out the park and totally be at the top of our leaderboards, like from the bottom of our leaderboards for 2 years to at the top is just honestly incredible. It's so cool to watch. So congrats, Jack. I have one for Jen. Jen is officially locking in her 2-star tomorrow. I think she might even have one little hurdle to get over tonight, but I'm just putting that pressure on you because I know that it will be official tomorrow. So proud of you, Jen. You're also another person on this team who has really risen up to the top since starting your own community. I'm so proud of you. And to Jen and to Sarah Patterson, who honestly are guys, they're both about to lock in Premier pretty soon. And we're sort of looking at their team and their leadership points and being like, they could be elite. Like this could be like a 4-time elite team, honestly, with these girls. And I know there are others that could make it happen if they wanted to as well. But I just wanted to say to you two girls, like, I'm so freaking excited to do this with you and to make a plan with you and to build this with your team. So congrats. One other shout out to my coach, Tasha, who added her first working coach this week, which honestly, I think is one of the biggest deals in this business because you really go from running challenge groups to building a team. So congrats to you, Tasha. Super exciting. Does anybody else have any before I introduce Jamie? So, you know, when we started this business, we were doing a challenge group under Kim, right? Most of you guys know our story. And then once we decided to start, or I decided to start coaching, I realized that Kim ran this business with her husband, Jamie. Jamie has really become our greatest cheerleader and one of our biggest mentors in this business. And at so many points along the way, he has messaged us privately, messaged me personally, Erin, us together, and been like, okay, what's next? Okay, I'm looking at your downline. Now it's time for this. Now it's time for that. Like constantly pushing us to be better. And I think so often in this business, when you get working coaches, you're afraid to push them. You don't want to, you know, but I don't feel that because I see what Jamie's done for us. I see how incredible his mentorship has meant to me, to Erin, to this entire team. I guarantee half of you would not be here if it were not for Jamie's mentorship and what it's meant to the sisterhood. So 15-star diamond, top male coach, yada, 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 like the best of the best. Jamie, we are so grateful that you are taking your time tonight to speak to our team. Take it away.
Thank you. I'm emotional. And I don't usually get this way on like other people. I've got emotional on our own team calls. It's weird. Not weird. Good weird. But like, I think I'm just looking at the amount of people on here. You have 62 people on this call. I think if you can all imagine at some point in your coaching career, and I hope you're blessed with this, I hope you get invited to speak on a coach on your team in your downline that has 62 people on a team call, and you get asked to speak on that. Like that is just, it's insane to me. I've been doing this now for 5.5 years, coming up on 6 in January, but it's, I still feel new sometimes. I still feel like this is a surreal dream. I don't know how I ended up here, to be honest with you. But I just want you guys to know that you are in a position right now that not a lot of people are in. And I'm going to talk a little bit about being amongst the uncommon, because I've been listening to a lot of David Goggins lately and just reading some personal development stuff like that. But I don't expect you to know how fortunate you are in the position you're in. I don't, not all of you, because a lot of you are new and I respect that. Yeah, I'm seeing in the chat there. I remember when my team call was 3. Like, I remember having team calls a couple months in and there were 3, 4, maybe 6 people. 2 of them were Fitzpatrick's. Another was my cousin, and maybe 2 other people that were friends. Because I think sometimes you forget, like, we all start with 0 success club points. We all start with 0 coaches, 0 coaches. And I just kind of wanted to come on and talk to you guys a bit about good times, bad times in this business. I think what it's going to take from you to stick around, because, and I hope I'm okay saying this, I don't want to disrespect anybody. I am going to keep it brutally honest with you. I always do, because it does a disservice to you if I don't tell you how this is, and I don't sugarcoat shit. And I will drop the F-bomb, so maybe send kids out of the room. But I think for a lot of instances, and with 62 of you on here, the simple math is that I don't know how many of you 62, I don't know what the number is, whether it's 5, 20, 10, 7, 22. I hope it's a really low number. But the reality is many of you won't be on this call in a year from now. This team call right now that you do have in a year from now, I don't want to say a lot of you, because you guys are a crazy team with momentum and leadership, but there will be some of you that won't be here in a year. I hope you're all here. I hope there's all 62 of you are here, but I know the numbers. I know the business. I've been here a while. I just know what happens. And I kind of want to start off with that, because while I certainly don't think this is the hardest job in the world, I think of people who have to go to war. I mean, being a nurse, like, my God, especially in the last 4 or 5 months, going through chemotherapy, we could go on and on about occupations and jobs that are really, really hard to show up to every day. Really hard, mentally, physically, emotionally. This business, guys, yeah, sorry, this is not hard. It is not hard. Like, you get to drink a milkshake and take care of yourself, and that is really, and I know there's more involved than that. I know I'm like minimizing it a little bit, but this is not a hard business. It's going to require some hard work and some time and some effort, but it's not a hard business. It isn't hard work. Like, you're not in a coal mine, digging trenches for 8 hours. Like, my grandfather did that. Like, this is not hard. But I think one of the things, I want you to be aware of some things. And like I said, I hope you're all here in a year from now. Be here in a year. That's my motto. But I think you're going to have to understand a few things. You are not an employee in this business. You are not. And unfortunately, and I talk about this a lot because I think it's important, and some of you maybe heard me talk about this before. I think a lot of us come into this because this is a new business for many of us. A lot of you haven't done business before, and you don't need to be successful. The top 100 coaches in the network, I bet you 4 of them have done previous businesses, maybe a few more than that, not much. Most don't have a fitness background. Most never did network marketing before. So you're not disadvantaged in any way. But the disadvantage comes from a lot of times how we're all raised and what we see our parents do. And what a lot of us have done our whole lives. I've been an employee probably 20 years of my life. I haven't been for a while, but I was. We watch our parents go to work. We watch them come home 8 to 5. My parents worked from like 7 to 7. And that I just got used to that, and I watched that, and I knew they got paid every 2 weeks. And that's just how I remember going to my counselor's office in grade 11, and they just were like, what college do you want to go to? What university? What are you going to be? And they were plucking me in the categories that we fit in, right? Teacher, doctor, nurse, you wanted to do, trade school, I don't know. And we come into this with an employee mindset. And sometimes that is the dream killer for some of you, and you don't even know it. You don't even know you actually are approaching this with that employee mindset. But what happens is you start to coach and you start to put in all this time to this, and you're used to a situation. And I know not all of you are employees, and some of you might even be entrepreneurs already, and that's cool. But we get conditioned to have an agreement with the company that we're associated with, or we've signed a contract with, that like, I make this much per hour, so you're going to pay me this much because that's what we've agreed upon. And I'm going to work the hour for you. Give me my $22 an hour that we've agreed upon. And you work that hour. And really good employees, they go above and beyond that, obviously. But that's sort of the mindset that we bring to this a lot of times. And then we wonder why after a month or 2 or 3, you're putting in all this time and maybe you're not necessarily seeing the financial reward right away, right? And that is an employee mindset, because if, okay. Thank you. The employee mindset is like you kind of put in time and you expect something in return. You expect something in hourly. I work my 40 hours, give me my negotiated pay, right? If you approach this business that way and you come in with that mindset, you will not be here for very long. You just won't. I know it. You won't. You're a frickin' CEO now. And you got to own that. And you got to own you are now an entrepreneur, whether you know you've signed it up or not. I love the story. She didn't know she get paid for this. You do. Sometimes a ridiculous amount of money. But that's, I know my first paycheck was $148. And even for me, I was like, okay, they do pay you for this. That's cool. I remember it, $148. So an employee, I'm not saying you all do this, but you kind of count down the hours in your day. Well, as a CEO and entrepreneur, time is irrelevant. You should never, ever be thinking of how much time you're putting into this. It's irrelevant. You're an entrepreneur. You're working now for future rewards. You're putting deposits in your bank account. You just can't take those out right now. Those will come down the road, because the truth about this, the truth about coaching, entrepreneurship, anything about small business, is you actually get severely undercompensated at the start for what you're doing. And entrepreneurs are cool with that. I've done previous businesses before. You know, we had a retail chain of stores, and I remember working 364 days a year. We got Christmas off, I guess the other stat holidays, whatever they were. We never took a dime out for 2 years. We couldn't, we weren't making any money. But that didn't stop us from busting ass and like putting in all those hours. And as an entrepreneur, you do what it takes. As an employee, you kind of do what's required. Entrepreneur, you do whatever it takes until the job's done. You don't go to bed until shit gets done. An employee, you get to walk out the door and don't worry about it till tomorrow, till your shift. You gotta somehow find that shift for yourself of your previous life. I know a lot of you are still employees, and you have to be. I've got to pay the bills. I get that. I started this and I was an employee, but you have to transition to that CEO mindset. And if you can do that, the patience becomes easier. You develop a little more grit in what you're trying to do. Because I know there's some of you on this call, you're probably a month in, you're probably 2 months in, 3 months in, 6 months in, and you're probably questioning things. Can I do this? Why am I not making more money? I seem to be putting in the time. Why are people saying no to me? Why are people ghosting me? What's happening right now? This doesn't appear to be working. Of course it's not working. You've been doing it for 3 months. That's not how this works. That's not how this works, guys. And you got to wrap your head around that. Now, I'm not telling you to do this for 5 or 10 years and not make any money either. I'm not saying that. But this is a long-term game. And the people who don't ever like understand that part of it, they run the other way because they're not used to that. Because we've been conditioned to like, I'm working, give me what I'm working for now. We've just been trained that way, unfortunately. So you have all these people that start and they get excited, but they tend to teeter off, you know? And it's funny, it's like, I've been listening to David Goggins, who's just crazy. His book, Can't Hurt Me. Listen to the Audible, tons of swear words. It's just, he's like, talks about like having the grit and the tenacity. And I'll be really honest with you guys. There's probably not a lot of difference between you and I. I tell people all the time, they think I'm joking. I'm of mediocre intelligence. In fact, if you want to say I'm at a disadvantage in this business compared to all of you, I probably am, because I'm a dude. And I hate saying that out loud, because like a lot of people are like, oh, it's not harder for men. You're not as vulnerable. You don't want to be on social media. And maybe there's a little bit of truth to that, but it's still our choice whether we want to be on social media. I got really vulnerable at the start. But there's no reason you can't do what I'm doing. There's no reason you can't achieve levels that you want to achieve. I think sometimes it just comes down to the fact that I'm probably a little bit harder than you. I'm probably got a little thicker skin than you. I'm probably just gonna outwork most of you. And I don't go away. I'm like a virus. You can't get rid of me. You can't. You just can't. I refuse to. Because the truth is, you guys, there's probably people in your life. There's people in your life who are watching what you're doing. You've decided to do the uncommon, right? You decided to do network marketing. You decided to go on social media and share some of your journey. You've become part of the uncommon. That's not a bad thing. That's actually a really good thing. Special things happen for those people who have the courage to venture out and do things that most people look at and go, oh shit, what's she doing now? Why are you doing that? Why are you posting on social media? Like, why are you showing your workouts? It's not an easy thing to do. So you're amongst the uncommon. And David Goggins always talks about, he wants to be uncommon amongst the uncommon. So you've now entered the space of network marketing. Now you need to be uncommon in this uncommon world. You need to rise above what you're doing. And I feel like for me, and I don't want to make it about me, but just because this is my story, I just feel like I know things are going to work out for me. I know things are going to turn out for me because I just won't fucking quit. You just won't get rid of me. And nobody who's watching me on social media, Cousin Becky, whoever, it does not matter. No one will ever deter me from what I want out of this opportunity. Nobody, ever. I'm too stubborn for that. And you've got to wrap your head around that. You got to wrap your head around that. There is nothing worse, in my opinion, especially in business and life, there is nothing worse than untapped potential. It drives me effing bananas. I can't deal with it. And I see it all the time. There's probably 50 to 100 people who have been part of Crush Nation on that team page who I've got an email that have canceled their coaching account at some point in the journey. And when they canceled, I was like, God, not upset for me or my income or anything like that. Looking at them going, oh my God, you could have rocked this business if you just stuck with it a bit. If you just had some jam and some grit and some patience and some thicker skin. Because the people that judge you, the people that look at you, they've never effing attempted anything courageous in their own life. And you kind of look at those people like, are they qualified to judge what you're doing? Have they had the courage to actually attempt anything like what you're doing in your life? I'll bet not. I'll bet not. You know, I said it like in my story, I think it was today or yesterday, the time's always a blur, but it's like the loudest people they're up in the cheap seats, right? Because that's the only ticket they can afford, because they never have the balls to get on the court themselves. They never have the jam to hop on and do it themselves. So they're the loudest talkers, right? It's pretty easy to take zero talent or skill to form an opinion. Zero. The skill, the talent, the courage comes from actually stepping into the ring like you guys are doing. So you have to take inventory of who's actually giving you an opinion in your life. What have they ever done? And this is important, guys, because the most successful people in business are the ones who have the ability to block out that white noise. I'm proof of that. I'm of mediocre intelligence. I'm very unorganized. There's a lot of parts of this business I don't do really well. Seriously, and people laugh when I say I'm of mediocre intelligence. I can't set up a VCR, an IKEA piece. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I struggle with a lot of that shit in my life. I remember being insecure as a kid growing up. Like, how will I figure out a mortgage? How is that going to work? I'm going to have to pay bills and do things. Like, I was really insecure about that stuff. I'm just like, work hard and have some grit. Like, guys, it's been, you know, I grew up playing hockey, tough sport, rough sport, smallest kid on the ice, always. But I just made it through. I was probably the fastest on the ice, but I just had jam and grit. And guys, I had to quit hockey. I've had chronic pain and post-concussion syndrome for 20 years. And there's days I don't want to do anything. There's days I can't even form a sentence. I got to lie in bed. And it comes and goes, and it's awful. And I've tried every treatment in the book. But I will never use that as an excuse. I can't. I just can't, because that's doing me a disservice. It's doing my wife and kids and my family a disservice. Guys, I had a heart attack 8 months ago. You know, I was literally dead up there on that floor up there. I was dead, you guys. And I still hit Success Club October, November, January, February. I went to emerge 5 times after my heart attack with like swelling of the lips and hands and feet, and they couldn't figure out what was going on with me. But I still show up. Because it's the standard I set for myself in my life and my business. That's just it. And I won't go away. I can't. And that's kind of my X factor. That's the only thing I control with what I do. And for a lot of you, you're going to have some moments. You may be in one right now. We just had a surge the last 3 or 4 months. COVID was like people were looking for at-home workouts. We had the MBF launch, which a lot of people crushed. And then we're in a bit of a lull. I hate saying that out loud because I'm a big believer in manifestation and stuff like that. But there's a bit of a lull. We're in between launches, you know. It is really easy to show up in this business when things are going really well. Everything's great. Yeah, people are active. People are coming to me wanting to know what I'm doing. It's really easy to be a top 10 coach when things are going well. All of you have been a top 10 coach probably for a day, an hour, a week, maybe even a month, maybe even 6 months you've acted like a top 10 coach. Things are going great. They're clicking. But when things get tough, when things slow down, when coaches cancel, people pause their shakio, you feel like there's a lull. True leaders, real entrepreneurs, that's when they put the pedal down. Because top 10 coaches, people who build 6-figure businesses and 7-figure businesses, that's the separator. It's easy when things are going well, guys, but when it gets tough, you got to roll up your sleeves. You're an entrepreneur now. And you have to believe, guys, yes, you get undercompensated at the start. Yes, that does happen. But there's a really crazy things that happens with entrepreneurship and network marketing and the residual income side of this business. There's a really crazy thing that happens. If you show up long enough, and you do your business activity tracker, and you treat this like a legitimate business, not a hobby, a legitimate business, and you respect this business enough to show up that way, because that's a part of it, guys. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but because there's a lot of you that probably don't know a lot of components about this business. That's your job to learn and develop that competence so you have the confidence. But that's a big part of this is, where does this fit in your life? What's the priority? How much do you respect this business? Do you kind of understand the compensation plan? Do you kind of understand how people get paid? And if you don't, if that's a weakness of yours, that's what you have to go tackle. And I don't think you need to know everything about it. You don't. But you need to know some parts. You need to be confident enough in that part that you're not afraid to invite someone, or you don't want to talk about the coaching opportunity because you're so afraid if someone asks you a question, you won't know the answer. So educate yourself. Go find the answer. You don't need to know everything, but you do need to know some things, and that's part of it. And it's kind of like, I know you have self-limiting beliefs, and I know that's kind of like, that's a big thing, and some of them they come through consciously, some are subconscious where you don't even know. But the crazy part is, if you can remove, and I know PD is a big part of that, but if you can remove some of those self-limiting beliefs, you guys, and really dive into this, you go from getting undercompensated to getting grossly overcompensated. Seriously, like, I will admit to you guys, Kim and I, this business that we've turned this into after 5.5 years of showing up every day and rarely saying no to anything, whether it's a team call, you know, calls with our coaches, just being like, because you're either interested in coaching or you're committed to coaching, right? Two very different things. Are you interested in this or are you committed to this? Because they're vastly different, and your results and your income, you answering that question will determine where you fit on that scale. And Kim and I, where we are at in this business, guys, we are grossly overcompensated for what we do. Like, it's a good thing. I'm not complaining about it. Like, I'm not, and someone that you could put the income disclaimer in the thing, and I'm not trying to come across as a douchebag or gross or talk about income or how much money we make, but we are grossly overcompensated. Like, I'm a numbers guy. I work things out. If you have any doubts about what this business is, I'm going to share this with you because I hope it inspires you. I hope you look at the number and go, you know, even if I could do 5 or 10% of that, it would change my family's life. Even though I'm not an employee and I'm an entrepreneur and I run this business like an entrepreneur, I do know what Kim and I earn on an hourly basis, 24 hours a day. Whether I'm on a call with you, whether I'm playing at the park with my kids, whether I'm sleeping in bed at 3 a.m, whether I'm watching Netflix or whatever, I know what we earn 24 hours a day as the clock ticks, ticks, ticks. This hour goes by, this hour, this hour, this hour. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, but that's the residual income part of this business. Guys, in like July, I worked it out. It was like $160 an hour we make, 24 hours an effing day. 160, how stupid is that? No, honestly, like, that is overcompensated. But that is a byproduct, you guys. It's a byproduct of patience, grit, showing up when I didn't effing feel like it, right? Having a standard of excellence in my business and how I operate. If I didn't know something, yeah, everyone's like 160 times 24 times 730. Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid number, guys. And I'm only telling you this because, like, ask yourself, after some of you have done the math, ask yourself, would 5% of that help? If you could make $10 an hour doing this 24 hours a day for just like residual income, how cool would that be? Right? To add to your family's bottom line, to give you other opportunities, to give your kids other opportunities. My kids' education is paid for long time ago. Like, and I don't know if they're going to go to college. I'm not at, like, I think times change, but like, there are, and you know, we've done renovations on our house, but we're not out buying Lambos. Like, that's not how we live, you know. I'm trying to invest in things and stuff like that, but I need you to understand the residual income part. And guys, there's 2 key components to this. Most of that income, you guys, is organizational income. It's team volume. It's not us, you know, spending an hour on a chat with someone, selling them a challenge pack as a client, which is hugely important. And that's part of this process. It's part of this process. But that is residual income. That's team volume, guys. Okay? And here's the other cool part about this business, and you need to understand this part because you can use this when you're talking to people about coaching. Okay? I come from the franchise world. So we opened up a retail store and then we franchised out our concept, Bark and Fitz. Our franchisees would come to us, they're like, I love your store. Can I open one? Sure. You want to open in Mississauga, Halifax, Vancouver, New Jersey, Ottawa? We had 2 in Ottawa. You know, awesome. Let's do it. They had to spend $250,000 to open their store, right? Probably 70,000 of that was inventory and product. They had to pay $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in a rent because our stores were high end. They had to in high end shopping centers and shopping areas. After all their sales at the end of the month, right? Yes, there was one in Collingwood, it closed, but after all their sales, paying their employees, the rent, everything, then us as franchisors, and this is franchising, McDonald's does it, Tim Hortons, I think Tim Hortons does like 18%. Anyway, we made our stores 6% royalty. So if they did $100,000 that month, they had to cut us a check for $6,000, guys. $6,000 plus they had a 2% marketing fee. They had to pay us another 2%, and we could use those dollars to spend on marketing for Bark and Fitz. It was in their franchise agreement. And then they had to pay the 1% for using the Visa machine and all that stuff. You guys, That $160 an hour that we earned in July, 24 hours a day around the clock, zero of that came from any of you. I never got a check from Aaron or Courtney or Sarah or Alyssa. You never sent me a check. You never paid me a consulting fee. You keep 100% of your income in this business, guys. Unlike traditional business, ask a realtor when they sell a house and they belong to a brokerage, what cut of that house sale they have to give to their brokerage, right? You keep 100% of your income in this business, guys. Like, how cool is that? That's something to have for you when you're talking about coaching with people, because people don't understand this, right? They're like, network marketing, what is that? I don't get it. People at the top, everyone takes from the people at the bottom. No. That's not how this works. Beachbody looks at my team every Thursday, Kim and I's team. They're like, wow, you're growing a big team. You've developed leaders, right? And they pay me a bonus. They pay us a bonus every Thursday, okay? I need you to understand that part of the business. And this is part of like having the tangible little things that you can take with you in your back pocket and knowing this business and understanding that. And it'll develop over time so that you feel confident talking about this with other people. Because if you're not confident about coaching, guys, or what this entails, again, you don't have to know everything, but if you're not at least like in the middle about what coaching actually is and how you actually earn money, and it's really easy. There's two ways. There's commission, 25%, and there's team bonus. The Beachbody pays you a bonus if your team does well, right? If you can use those things, you're going to invite far more people to this opportunity. You're going to be far, just naturally, subconsciously, consciously, you're going to talk to people about coaching because you have that confidence in what you're talking about. Show me someone who never invites someone to the coaching opportunity. Show me someone who never talks about the business. Show me someone who is just like, it's someone who knows nothing about it and has never taken the time to go learn about it. That's just how it works. Because you're scared. Because you're worried about someone's going to ask you a question about coaching. Guys, no one's ever going to come and say, hey, can you tell me if you had a coach on the left side on the strong leg, how that volume plays into my second CBC? Like, no one's ever going to ask you that. No one cares about that. They want to be healthy. They want to earn some income for their family. And if you do a good job of explaining how important this is to you and what you love about it, they'll join. But you do need to have that confidence to do that. Okay? And I know you're going to get a lot of no's, guys, especially for you new coaches. That's natural. And this is another thing, guys, it's about that standard of excellence that you're going to set in this business, the priority that you set for this business in your life. And listen, nothing should come ahead of your family. Nothing should come ahead of your spouse. Nothing should come ahead of your current job either, because I get it. That pays the bills. You know, there's things that need to be ahead of this business, but there's also a lot of things on that priority list that this business can jump ahead of. TV, right? All the little things that you do, you know, Selling Sunset on Netflix. I started watching that. Anyone watch? No? People are laughing. Somebody like, no. Like there's things that this can prioritize over those. It's just going to be up to you where this fits. Yeah. It's just going to be up to you where this fits in your life. You're going to decide that priority thing where this fits. And here's another really important thing, guys. You're getting a ton of no's. You're getting people ghosting you. You've gone through your warm market. I get it. That happens for everybody. We all go through the warm market. Everyone does. Everyone does. Right? Go do research. How do you grow on Instagram? Go find out. There's training galore, guys, on this stuff. Training galore. You're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to go comment on people you don't know. You're going to have to go, you know, invite people to this. You know, that's all part of this business. And you may be like, oh, I don't want to bother people, or I don't want to, guys, like if you come in with this attitude, then you don't actually understand the impact you can have on another human being. You just don't understand that then. You know, I don't know the amount of messages that Kim and I have got collectively from people who have just lost weight or you know, gone off medication. And then on the business side from you know, my coaches, I have a couple who are single moms who hated their frickin' job and they had to send their 3 kids to daycare that they hated. And for me to get a message from them, and like, this is why I show up, guys. This is like the business side for me is like, you ask Aaron and Courtney, I get way more excited for coaches on our team for their accomplishments way more than 15-star diamond or top 10 or any other bullshit stuff. It's not bullshit, but like I get way more excited when my team, I see coaches on our team achieve, like that lights me up. So when that single mom messages me is like, or calls me and like, Jamie, I get to come be at home. I don't have to do that job anymore. Like I get to work from home and I've matched my salary and I get to take my kids out of daycare and not pay for that. Guys, so you not inviting, you not reaching out to people, you not putting yourself out there. Yeah, I don't want to offend you, but if I'm being brutally honest with you, that's just selfish behavior on your part because you're making it about you. This isn't about you, by the way. This isn't about you. You inviting, you putting yourself out there. This isn't about how uncomfortable you are. We're all uncomfortable. It's not about me. It's not about you or Aaron or Court. It's not about you guys. It's about the person that eventually says yes to you, right? And then in 3 months, you get that message saying, I lost 30 pounds. I feel unbelievable. My marriage is better. Or they message you with the coaching opportunity 6 months down and go, I just made $500 this week. Like, this is crazy, right? So you being inside of yourself and being uncomfortable and making it about you because you don't want to invite anyone else because shit, that's scary. It's selfish behavior, guys. I'm sorry. You gotta remove yourself outside of that because it's not about you. It's about the impact you can have on other people, right? Like, I think sometimes about the team that we've created and the people we've met and the friendships we've created. God, it'd be a tragedy if I was so chicken shit and made it about me at the beginning. What a tragedy it would have been. The amount of people that I hope we've positively impacted. What a tragedy it would have been if I'd listened to my cousin who had a problem with me coming out on social media with this, or worried about inviting people. Like, my God, you guys, like the opportunities that I've had and the people I've met, I pray you guys get those from this business. But you gotta do some of the tough stuff to get there. You have to if you want big things from this business. And I know some of you are like, I'm just going to take it easy. I might do this as a hobby. Part of me wants to call bullshit on you because I don't know if I believe that. It's like saying to someone, well, I want to change 3 people's life, but 6 would be too many. Like, I don't want to completely alter more people's lives for the good. Like, I want to make $1,000 a month, but God help, I don't want to make 5,000 a month. That's too much for me. Like, I don't buy that. I really don't buy that. Because the most beautiful thing I think about life, I don't think kids make you happy. Your spouse won't make you happy. Your work won't make you happy. However, doing really hard shit and finding your potential in things that you never knew you could, that's where internal happiness comes from. That's where self-pride, is that a thing? Yeah. Pride, respect for yourself, doing really hard stuff that you just weren't sure you could do. Guys, that's what this is about. And then being able to celebrate and take people along with you on this journey. Wow, guys, like, what a cool thing to be able to do. And I just, going back to what I told you at the start of the call, there are people that are watching you right now. And they're looking at Jen and Melissa and Gabrielle and Kristen and Sarah and Danielle and Lauren, and they're looking at all of you. Not everyone, but some are looking at you going, I don't know. I'm not buying it yet. Let's see what happens next month. Let's see what happens in 6 months. You know there's people watching you, right? And some of you in your first 3 months, of course they're saying no to you. Of course they are. You haven't built any trust or credibility up. You haven't. And especially, said with respect, especially if some of you are showing up one day, not the next. Showing up one week, not the next. Showing up this month because things are good. This month it got really tough. Got some more no's. Someone made a comment on one of my posts. My sister is making fun of me, so I'm just going to back off. Yeah, of course you're not building trust and credibility. Of course not. You got to stay in the fucking, sorry. You got to stay in the game long enough to build that up. It drives me bananas, guys, right? It drives me bananas. The people who succeed show up when it's the toughest. It's just the rule. It's the rule. And I hope you can see that the benefits on the other side of doing that are so incredible. I hope you understand that. And if you don't, you will soon enough. You will soon enough, because you'll get those messages from people. So the people who are watching you, expecting you to quit, expecting you to pack it in, because they're looking at you going, I don't know, I'm gonna wait another month and see what's going on. Oh, what I thought, she did it for 3 months and I don't see her post anymore. Don't see her post anymore. No, she must have quit. I'm glad I didn't actually join her. I'm glad I didn't sign up, because I wonder what's going on. Think about this, guys. You will need to have some grit and some patience and some determination and some thick skin. You are an entrepreneur now. You're not an employee. You're going to have to suck up some tough times. That's part of this. But the payoff, guys, the benefits are beautiful. And I will go back to it again. This isn't that hard. It's just not. It's hard if you think it's going to be. I mean, look what's going on in the world, guys. Look what's going on in the world, what some people are having to live with, you know? It's just insane. And you get this opportunity. You get this beautiful opportunity with these tools that you don't have to create workouts or nutrition plans. You are on one of the fastest growing teams in the network. And I'm not talking about Crush Nation. I'm talking about the Sisterhood. You are blessed to be born into this team that gives a shit, because this isn't the norm. I don't know if you know that. This isn't the norm. It's not the norm. You ask Aaron and Courtney, you ask Kim and I how many emails I get every day and week with coaches who want to switch teams. I'm like, yes, sorry, doesn't work that way. You can't switch teams. You can't. You're not allowed to. You know? So you've been put in this position, this beautiful position to succeed, with systems and training and leaders who give a shit about you, you know? And it starts with the Sisterhood, and then you're double blessed to belong to Crush Nation, who were super engaged in this, right? And we care, and my upline, Miguel, cares. He taught me how to be a professional network marketer. And then with Miguel, you've got Lindsay Matway, the highest earning coach in the history of Beachbody, who still after 10 years makes $3.5 million a year and still shows up every freaking day. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to, but she does. Like, you are blessed, guys. Now it's on you what you want to do with this opportunity. Now it's on you. And you have this vehicle that can produce massive amounts of residual income for you. It's going to take some time, right? It's going to take some time. But, you know, I got emotional at the start listening to, you know, like with Jackie, like incredible. There's that switch, guys. There's some decisions, and I do believe there's decisions. I used to piss Courtney off and I'd be like, Diamond's a decision. She's like, Jamie, I don't actually think Diamond is a decision, because you still have to find the people and you got to do the work. You do, but the decision to work your ass off and actually commit to this, that's the decision. And then the people flow in. Then they look at what you're doing and go, she's real. She's been doing this for 6 months now. Okay, I get it. I get it. She's been doing it for a year, 2 years. All right, I believe her now, because you've built trust and credibility, right? Patrick Reelman has the escalator effect. You know, the escalators that are coming down and you try to go up. Your kids always try to do that. You're like, get off the escalator, because it's coming down and you try to go up. That's what this business is. You're going up, and then you stop for a week or a month, or you get disappointed in something and you go like this, and you're up and down and you never make it to the top of the escalator, because you have to keep going, guys. You have to keep going. So if people expect you to stop and they're waiting for you to stop, do the unexpected. Be the unexpected. Be the person who shows up for 2-3 straight years. Be that person, guys. That will shock the shit out of people. That will wake people up to what you're doing. So if you're in month 1, 2, or 3 and you're getting no's and ghosting, guys, that's normal. Like, that's normal, right? Every no You get closer to a yes. You just do. But you're going to get no's. Don't take it personally. You can't take it personally, guys. You just can't. I guarantee you I've had more no's than all of you. Easily. But I know it's not about me. And this isn't for everybody. It's not for everybody. And I'm very conscious of that. So when someone says no, okay, I'll invite them again at some point. Maybe they're not my person. Maybe this isn't for them. Cool, awesome. I'm not going to get down on myself because it's not about me. But I'm looking for the people this is for. I'm looking for the people who I do connect with. I'm looking for the people who want to hop on my train because they know where it's going, right? They know where it's going. And like I said, there's some learning to be done. You're going to have to engage in the business. It's like any new job. There's things to learn. It's going to be overwhelming. I don't know how to lessen the overwhelm. I mean, overwhelm is just a feeling, but you're going to have to get used to that because you are a CEO. How cool is it that you own your own company, though? How cool is that? You all own your own company. And some of you are like, you probably never even thought about it in that terms because you think you're a coach. And you are, but you're so much more than a coach, you guys. You're so much more than a coach, right? You're kind of a lifeline for a lot of people, right? You're a life raft for a lot of people. You just don't know it yet. You haven't been doing this long enough. But if you show up long enough, people are going to look to you for that. They're going to look to you for that. And build that trust, build that credibility, guys. And I'm just going to challenge all of you. I'm going to challenge all of you. I want you to work really, really hard at this business because I want you to see what happens. I want you to see what happens. Because if you don't do that and you don't commit to this business, it's just lost potential. And I have a tough time with that because I feel, and I also, it took me the longest time in coaching. I'm going to wrap it up here. I know time's going. It took me the longest time, guys, to actually understand. Even like, I think probably like, I've been doing this almost 6 years, probably even like 2 years ago, because I would get frustrated. It took me the longest time to understand that not everyone wants what I want out of this business. And not everyone is willing to show up like I am. I didn't understand that. I was like, why isn't she like doing why aren't they doing what I'm doing? Doesn't everyone want what I want? You know, it took me a long time to understand that because I'm not a toe dipper. I just never have been. I can't operate my life that way. Maybe it's my OCD, my ADHD. I'm just like, I'm all effing in. Like if I get interested in something, I'm in. Like, let's do this. Let's go. And it served me really well. It served me really well. And if you don't want big things, I'm not judging you for it. That's fair. But if you do have an hour a day or you have 30 minutes a day or whatever you can fit in this, make it the best damn hour you can and give it everything you have. And let's see what kind of potential you have in this business. Because I don't want you to quit and not know. I do not want you to quit and not know what you could have done in this business. I think that's the tragedy. Because I do think part of life, part of why we're here, is to see what we're capable of. To see what kind of impact you can have on another human being, whether it's 1, 100, 1,000. So yeah, I hope you found value in that. You can ask any questions, guys, if you want.
Jamie, you are just amazing and so incredible. And like I've said it so many times, I'm so like massively grateful to have you in my life. And I've learned so much from you. And I just feel so abundantly grateful for your business mindset and for you like openly sharing your gifts with us. Cause I feel like we've all learned so much from you in just the 50 minutes you just spoke about. I have all these notes here. I loved how you talked about amongst the uncommon. I'm totally going to read up and listen to that guy. Who was it that you said spoke about that?
David Goggins.
Goggins.
Be forewarned. It's like, it's heavy, lots of F-bombs. He's like a Navy SEAL. Anyway.
Okay, that's fine. But I agree that this business isn't about us. And if we can step outside of the fear and have the like courage. Like I always say, it takes the brave. This job takes us being vulnerable and brave and courageous to put yourself out there in order to have the massive impact that we all can have. And I'm just like, I think that the coolest part about this business is, yes, you're making $160 an hour, but the potential for any one of us to make 180 or 200 an hour is there. And we can all surpass where you're at. And that to me is like damn inspiring.
And I'll say one thing, Erin, about fear. You have to resist that voice in your head, because we all have it. All of us. No one is immune to that voice, that fear. Like it's being like, this is hard. Maybe you should stop. Maybe you shouldn't do this. Remember what she said to you the other day? Maybe she was like we all have those voices, guys. They're there. We all question ourselves. We all have that fear. The ones who can like push it that way and trust in your own ability and self, and that personal development really comes into play here. It kind of builds up that armor. But don't think successful people don't have those thoughts. We do. We all do, guys. We just have the ability, we develop the ability and the belief in what this is to like not give those any priority. So don't think it's unusual, but you got to learn to just like push those things to the side.
Does anybody have any questions? I know we're nearing out to 9 o'clock here. If you do, please add them in the chat or take yourself off mute. But thank you so much for your time tonight. We appreciate you so much. And I know that you just brought like total fire. I know I'm not gonna be able to go to bed at night. Like this is my problem now, is that we all wake up super early, but we have these late night calls and I can't go to sleep. So thank you so much, Jamie. You are the best.
You're welcome. And I'm proud of all you guys. Like Sisterhood, all of you, you level me up. You level our team up. You level all of Crush Nation up. And I really mean that. So thank you. I appreciate you all.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, guys.
Good night, guys.